More from the Carry On crowd tomorrow night on BBC One. Women's Live or Not, Sydney Fiddlers planning a beauty contest. Carry On Girls at 1:20.
A traditional Boxing Day on BBC One.
Over from hell.
God, I hate Christmas.
It must have been something I ate.
Start to relax in Albert Square.
Shut up or I'll punch your lights out.
My wife behaving like a slut.
This is the first of many. The party starts now.
Then some stimulating party games.
We've resurrected an old game show. This show is all about losers.
Physical jerks in Dibley.
Just bung those in the kitchen for me, if you would.
Righto.
And reminiscing about old times.
The owls are stuffed.
How often do you have a bath?
Brace yourself for Boxing Day on BBC One.
The Boxing Day weather now on BBC One from Peter Cockroft.
Hello again. Still a little bit of a sting in the tail of the low pressure area that brought stormy weather to southwestern Britain during Christmas Day. Some strong winds and some quite heavy rain will buffet Northern Ireland and Northern England again tonight, but at least the winds won't be as strong as they were on Christmas Eve, that is. Now you can see the winds are easing down, and by tomorrow we'll have a run of northwesterly winds, just a gale force here and there where there's some heavy showers moving through. Now overnight we have got this weather front just moving southwards, and it's in behind that we can expect some strong winds into Northern Ireland and also across into Northern England for a time. Behind it, skies clearing up in Scotland. Temperatures there could drop very close to freezing, so there could be some icy patches to watch out for later on in the night. Into Boxing Day, once that weather front's moved out of the way, taking its rain away from southeastern England during the morning, I think sunshine and showers for most of us. Not very many showers on the eastern side of England, most of them out to the west, but they are likely to be quite squally, heavy and thundery. There could also be some hail mixed in. Saturday, very similar to Boxing Day, probably the showers fewer and further between, and a touch of frost in the north, with some more rain arriving from the southwest on Sunday. Night night.
More muscle than Madonna. More charm than Casanova. More power than Pavarotti.
It's not like he's saving the world or anything. He's a sales rep.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis in the network premiere, True Lies.
Trust me, this time you can count on me.
Here we go.
This is not a drill.
Fear is not an option.
Boxing Day at 10:15 on BBC One.
Go to work.
I'm looking forward to it.
All news all the time. Now we go through the night with BBC News 24.
You're watching BBC News 24. Welcome to our viewers on BBC One. The latest news at 2:43. The Queen, in her Christmas message, has spoken of the royal family's shock at the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, and she thanked the public for its support during the period of mourning. She said the funeral service at Westminster Abbey had been almost unbearably sad. She also spoke in support of devolution for Scotland and Wales, but implied that she was against moves towards independence. Police are warning motorists not to make any journeys unless absolutely necessary because of the continuing bad weather. 3 people have died and thousands of homes left without power as fierce storms have battered many parts of Britain. Forecasters are warning that winds in some areas could reach up to 60 miles an hour during the night. Animal rights activists are threatening to disrupt traditional Boxing Day hunts. Over 300 hunts are due to take place across the country later today. Protesters in Scotland say they'll be using a variety of methods to put the hounds off the scent of foxes. Animal activists say they're confident today will be the last day of meetings before the sport is banned. And now on News 24, the Queen's speech to the Commonwealth in full.
At the Christian heart of this United Kingdom stands Westminster Abbey. And it was right that it provided the setting for two events this year, one of them almost unbearably sad, and one, for Prince Philip and me, tremendously happy. Joy and sadness are part of all our lives. Indeed, the poet William Blake tells us,